Antonio Brown has been a name you have seen and heard all over the news recently. Brown was accused of assaulting his former trainer. Today I will share with you this story and evaluate the facts using several different news sources. If you're a sports fan or not, you know who Antonio Brown is. You will want to know and be informed about this story. I have researched this topic well enough to tell you what has been going on in this case. First, I will summarize the story, then I will tell you facts about the story from different news sources. Finally, I will evaluate the source and determine if the sources are telling the truth. Now let's go into the details about Antonio Brown and his trainer. Antonio Brown was accused of sexually harassing his former trainer. According to the Washington Post, the NFL is considering placing Antonio Brown on paid leave after he was accused of rape and sexual assault. That's from Business Insider 2019. While Brown was on paid leave, he was not permitted to attend games or practices, which means he would have to wait to make his appearance with his New England Patriots. The NFL was investigating the allegations and planned on meeting with Taylor. According to ESPN, Taylor says Brown forced her down onto a bed, pushed her face into the mattress, and forcibly raped her, ESPN 2019. This was after a night on which they spent together. Taylor went back to Brown's apartment in Miami to use the bathroom and have some food. Taylor has always seen their relationship as a brother-sister relationship. Brown and Taylor attended the same college at Central Michigan, where they became friends, where they met at a Bible study on campus. Brown and Taylor, a few years later, split apart, and Brown then reached out back to Taylor to be his physical trainer. Taylor filed a lawsuit just one day after Brown became a Patriot. According to the New York Times, the lawsuit says that Brown, in three separate incidents, two in June 2017 and another in May 2018, sexually assaulted Taylor, New York Times 2019. Brown claims the two had consensual sex. Taylor led him on, according to Brown, where she reached out to him, like she wanted him to be his trainer. According to ESPN, Brown, before the lawsuit was filed, refused to sign a settlement agreement that Taylor had asked him to for $2 million for the claim. The settlement discussion began in April, according to the report Sporting News 2019. Taylor wanted Brown to pay her before this all got over the news and spread. Brown disagreed and wanted to fight the case. The case is still ongoing, and there's a lot of information to go through. The New York Times and the Washington Post, along with many other sources I've evaluated and cited, and referred to the Sporting News on this story. In the Sporting News report, it stated that Brown's preyed on Miss Taylor's kindness and religious devotion, calling himself as an equal dedicated to his religion and someone she could trust, 2019. This was one statement that was not included in any of the four sources. An NFL spokesman told the Boston Globe after Brown's release that the league's investigation will continue through Brown is no longer on the team, 2019. The Sporting News also includes more information about what will happen to Brown after he left the Patriots than any other of the sources. Many of the facts were consistent among all the sources that I evaluated. However, some sources stayed neutral while others went against Brown and for Taylor. The Washington Post, as well as the other sources, agreed on the fact that Taylor thought the relationship was consensual. The Washington Post, 2019. The New York Times, the Washington Post, and Spring News all said that Brown sexually assaulted his former trainer Taylor when she thought the relationship was different than he thought. Sporting News reports on the story of Antonio Brown, accused of sexually assaulting former trainer Taylor, is referred to in many other sources and gives you all the difference on the story. Antonio Brown was accused of sexually assaulting his former trainer when he was on paid leave while the NFL was figuring out what happened. Brown was not allowed to practice or play in games while the investigation was going on. Brown later then stopped playing for the Patriots and played in the NFL. Out of the 5 sources evaluated, almost all of them referred to the Sporting News report, making it one of the most reliable sources on this story. Many have their opinions inside this case of Antonio Brown and his trainer, but this case is still ongoing and there's a lot of evidence to go through. I kept